Okay, I believe it's very important to talk about this subject, which is why we procrastinate. Since we have already talked about the first part of this section about goal settings and how we can link that to our needs, now I think we need also to talk about procrastination, because whenever we are asking or talking about achieving goals, we need also to talk about procrastination, because maybe you have seen yourself procrastinating during your early stages of your study, during high school, in college, and even during current days in your work. Maybe you have one or two or more than that of tasks that you are always delaying because of some of unknown reason for yourself. But actually there is a scientific reason behind procrastination, and there is a cycle for the procrastination. Once we know what is this cycle and how does it work, I think we can stop it whenever we notice ourselves going into this procrastination cycle. So it is very important also to make sure that this kind of procrastination behavior is not there, in order to ensure that we can go and start taking actions in order to accomplish our goals. So first of all, I want to start with a small funny story. This story is inspired by Mr. Tim Urban. He delivered one of his TED Talks. I will leave a link for this nice TED Talk in the resources section of this part. I highly recommend you to look at this kind of story. It is a very nice one, and there is a good metaphor behind it, and there is a good idea also to make you deeply understand what does it mean of this procrastination process, you can name it. So first of all, he introduced the TED Talk was under the name of Inside the Mind of Procrastinator, and he imagined that there are three characters inside the mind of procrastinator. There is the rational decision maker guy, which is taking lead of things, and we have the instant gratification monkey, which is waiting there, and we have the panic monster, which is ideally sitting with no problem, because currently there is no pressure, there is no deadline required to deliver something, everything looks fine. The rational decision making guy is taking the lead of the maneuver, and just we have the monkey, which is sitting there with no action. After some time, the story starts that the rational guy wanted to, he said that, okay, maybe this is the perfect time to get some work done. But the instant gratification monkey has another point of view. He said, no, he has something to offer to the rational guy. Then the monkey will start telling the rational guy, okay, let's watch a bunch of YouTube videos, then we can check some other funny stuff in this kind of social media or that. So here you will see that the rational decision maker guy is not really in a good situation or in a powerful situation to secure his intention to keep making the maneuver in the direction of getting things done or completing the task. So he is little bit giving loose for the wheel and giving a little bit kind of power or some leaving the steering wheel to the monkey, because he is not motivated enough to do this kind of task or do this kind of work. After some time, you will find that maybe 4 hours, less hours is already spent, and the panic monster will start looking at his watch, watching the time going by, and you can see here the rational guy already. The monkey is making control of the rational guy, and he is wasting a lot of time. I think this happened with us whenever we have a tough task. We can, okay, let's say I would check just the timeline of this social media, and you will find yourself spending a lot of time doing that. Just to continue with the story, what happened that when the panic master will start yelling at them because the deadline of the delivering the task is already very close and nothing has been achieved. They are only wasting time. So he start yelling on them, asking them what you are doing. And everyone will get panic because of the panic master behavior, and then you will see here everyone start getting this kind of mode of panic because the deadline, as I told you before, already approached and nothing has been done. After some time, you will find the monkey escape because he is not involved in any rational decision. So he just went out. He is just appearing whenever there is something for the instant gratification. And the rational guy tried to again taking the lead to start to maneuver again, to go back with the route back again, to try to do his best to make over for this kind of lost time, quickly trying to do something in order to achieve the under the huge stresses of the panic monster, which is already still giving him this kind of instructions to come back and start doing something to recover. I think all of us have been through this kind of situation before, either during our study, either during the high school, or even during the college, or even after that, whenever we have a very important task and we find ourselves did not make the proper use of time, and we have wasted a lot of time because we are just wanted to escape out of this pain that we think coming out of this task, and try to exchange the time in instant gratification. Either it will be playing or enjoying ourselves or something else, imagining that this will help us to overcome what we are waiting for. Actually, there is a reason behind that. There is a scientific reason. This was only just a funny story to try to give you why this monkey is taking care or taking control of the mind of the rational guy. We thought maybe the rational guy is very strong, and there is by reason he can make control because he is a logical guy. But why this monkey managed to make use of his head? The reason behind that, I think we call it the lizard brain. Inside and every one of us, we have this kind of lizard brain. Lizard brain is the very ancient part of our brain, which is, you see, this kind of brain was responsible about our protection. Once we was in the early stages, when the man was in the cave, he was responsible for two decisions, either to fight or flight. He is responsible for the basic needs of our needs. So there is no decision here. Whenever we see a danger, we will run. Whenever we find something that we can take or eat, we quickly go there and take it. So this is this kind of decision done by the lizard brain. As you can, this is they call it reptilian brain. And we have the second part of our brain, which is a limbic brain. It is the emotional one, or the feeling brain. And after that, we have the neocortex part, which is the rational or thinking brain. Okay, so we have three brains inside our brain. Can you imagine that this kind of reptilian brain, together with the elliptic one, is responsible for more than 90% of our decisions? This is why you will find yourself, whenever you are facing a new task and you thought, okay, maybe it looks tough, your reptilian brain want to ask you to save energy, because he can see it as a risk, because you think about it as something. There is a change, and the change equal in our lizard brain as something that he wanted to escape. It is a risk from his point of view, so he wants you to avoid it. This is why he is offering you this kind of procrastination, in order to make you avoid this kind of risk from his point of view. Okay, so this is why he wants you to save energy. Relax now, and maybe after 5 minutes we'll do it. Okay, let's go and have some cup of tea, then we can check it. Okay, let's make this at the end of the day. Whenever we have a time, we'll do that. Maybe it need more and more preparation. Then you will also delay this very important task. So this is some sort of save energy, or avoiding risk, avoiding pain from the point of view from the lizard brain. So now we managed to understand why this is happening, why the procrastination is happening. So simply, your choice will be, I will do this later, not now, maybe another time. And the consequence of that, as you can see, that all the magic will happen outside the area of our comfort zone. So whenever you are, the lizard brain wants you to keep inside this part, but actually all your potential will happen when you push yourself out of this comfort zone, to start something new, to learn something, to start getting some experience. This is the area where most of the magic will happen to our life. Okay, so in order to overcome this problem, I am offering you different solutions here. One of the most important solution is to make use of the subconscious mind. They call this subconscious brain power. As I told you before, 90% of our actions are resulted from and determined by our subconscious mind, and you can see here 90% and 10% only coming from our conscious mind, the rational part. It is same like the iceberg. When you see this, only the small part here, this is the rational, but 90% is subconscious, which is the majority of the bulk of the mass bulk of this iceberg. This is the power of the iceberg coming from this part. So in order to use this power, what I mean by using the power, mean that if we manage to change our habits, to come and make our objectives as our habits, we will be more productive. We will manage to accomplish all our requirements. For example, if I manage to change my habits in eating to be more healthy, definitely my health will improve and I can go to be more in shape, for example. But the problem that we have habits, and those kind of habits have their own power, and we need to break the habit cycle in order to convince our subconscious mind. By the way, habits mean that it is something governed by this subconscious mind. So breaking the habits, converting them into something that we good, that can help us, is one of the most clever ideas in order to overcome this kind of action of the lizard brain. And in the coming videos, I will show you some practical methods that can help you to overcome this kind of subconscious mind and convince him with what you want to achieve, so he will help you to go with you in this direction. As a quick start, we can start with what you call it divisional trick. This divisional trick is very simple. Whenever we have, I already described for you the 3D model before, which is the abbreviation for define, divide, and do it daily. When you have a big task, the mind will see also, your subconscious mind will see it as a big task, and the big task equal risk. This is why he will ask you to avoid it, to procrastinate. If you manage to make this kind of step or change whatever it was, the task, into a very small one, he will not see it as a risk. So he will not interfere and try to convince you to procrastinate and shift it. This is why I'm telling you, whenever you want to do a task, you want to achieve a goal, please try to define it, then divide it into very small baby steps, as I told you before, then start taking action every day. So your mind will not gonna feel that this is something huge, and this will convert it into risk. So he will be convinced to go with you in this direction. So this is what I mean by 3D. When, for example, if you wanna change your eating diet, for example, you can say, okay, definitely I will follow this kind of high protein or this kind of diet immediately from tomorrow. You will succeed for some time, but all of a sudden you cannot continue. Why? Because the mind will go for you under stress, but by time he can this will go against his habit, so he will again the habits will not gonna be beaten unless you convince your subconscious mind that is very small. In order to do that cleverly, for example, you can just try to move the sugar out of your food, for example, then keep like that for some time, then again give it another time to remove another carbohydrate, for example, thing, and go like that. This is one exercise, one example. Another thing also you can think about it, if you want to do some kind of sport, don't go for 2 hours immediately in the gym, starting with that, because you will escape quickly. What I highly advise you to do is to take 10 minutes every day and start building on those 10 minutes, add small additives to that, so it will become part of your routine. This is how you can introduce this kind of physical exercise into your mind. It is applicable also for any goal that you want to achieve. You can follow with that one also. So in the next videos, we will talk about another ways how we can motivate ourselves to overcome this kind of procrastination and try to make our subconscious mind go with us in this direction. So this was a summary of this part to introduce to you why we procrastinate, what is the reason behind, and now let's talk about how we can overcome this kind of procrastination, and see you in the next video. See you.